Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Allie, and today I have a book haul for you guys. I might seem like I'm out of breath and like I'm rushing, but this is going to be a book haul speed run. Hopefully. This is kind of a fallish book haul. I probably won't have another book haul until the end of the year or possibly even in the new year. So this might be the last book haul of the year. I kind of want to wait and do it at the end of November, so it was like a fall book haul, but I've accumulated way too many. Like, it's time to do this. We are going to try to speed run this today because we have reached that time of the year where it gets dark so early. So I am going to be racing time. If the lighting changes during that time, I am so sorry. I'm just gonna do the best I possibly can. And like always, I have them sectioned into different categories. So if you're not interested to see certain categories, you can check out the timestamps down below. I go through my subscription boxes. I go through if I buy from like Barnes or other places like that. And then as well as like Thrifted. This time I actually have a bunch that were just given to me, which is really cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. I'm actually going to start with what was given to me this time around. Because it is actually this huge stack right here. It is insane. I think I found a couple of these in a little free library. I have books that I've been trying to get rid of. So I've been trying to put them in like little free libraries and then I'll take something. But also, my mom gave me some of these. A friend gave me some of these. So there's just a lot to go through. I have this kind of rough copy of The Outsiders that I thought was kind of cool. Haunted Schools. I always keep stuff like this. Like, I was also given a bunch of like kid books, and I keep the ones like this because I like the real life like case file books. And then we have a lot of classics that I will show you guys as we go. An Agatha Christie, Three Musketeers. We have some Nancy Drew going on. I guess I'm gonna start collecting. I thought it'd be really cool to eventually do some type of like video idea with these. I would have to find some of the others, but I think thrifting I would be able to. I've always loved the covers of these so much though that I want to do something with it in the future. A Midnight Summer's Dream. Treasure Island, which I freaking love this book. So I'm so glad that I have a copy of it. 1984, The Bell Jar. Oh my God. So many good ones that have been on my TBR for so long. We have Emma from Jane Austen, Sense and Sensibility from Jane Austen, The Kite Runner, as well as 1,000 Splendid Suns. A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, and Codename Verity. Kind of getting into like books that now came out, like I believe like Codename Verity and Life as We Knew It. I think these like were more so like around like the Twilight era. I could be wrong. I've never read either one of these. As well as The Maze Runner and the Divergent series. I haven't ever read these. I know kind of what they're about. I know that they were popular again like around Twilight and the Hunger Games and like different books like that. But a couple of my friends really love this series. So I'm hoping to maybe like do like a buddy read next year of it. But there's literally like the whole series here, which is really cool for both of these. There's quite a few of them. And then I almost forgot a couple books on my table, so I'm gonna grab those. Oh my God, I say couple, but oh my God. Okay, some of these are thrifted though. I just completely forgot about them. The last two that were given to me from my mama is some more Sherlock Holmes. This is like a little box set, which is really cool. Complete Novels and Stories, volume 1 and 2. So I'm excited about that. That's another thing that like I want to dabble more in. I feel like it's gonna almost have to be like a slow burn because I don't know, it's like an intimidating one for me. Like I feel like I'm gonna get bored. As well as the Siegel Reader Literature. This is edited by Joseph Kelly. I don't really know what to expect with all of these, but I told her to send them my way because she was decluttering. Oh, they're so cool. They look like composition notebooks almost. Yeah, I told her send it my way. I will look at them and see like if there's any classics that like stick out to me that I really want to have. But if not, I will pass it on to somebody else or donate them. Oh my gosh, that was a lot already. And we really are speed running this, you guys. Next up, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into the Thrifted. But before that, I do have a stack here. It was just recently the annual book sale at my local library. So I went to it with my friend and we both made out with quite a bit of stuff there. The year before last, it was incredible. I feel like I got like a Paul Tremblay book. I got a Stephen King. I got a really, really cool edition of Moby Dick, like a really like classic one. Really, really cool finds. And I went with one of my friends that year. And then last year I went by myself, didn't find a single thing. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I have to have a friend go with me and then it's like a success. Because this year it was insane once again. I found some really cool R.L. Stein books and just like Goosebumps. These are ones that I kind of like want to revisit, or some I want to reread for the first time. But I think that they would be really fun like around Halloween and stuff. Found this collection of stories about Jack the Ripper. The Past and Other Things That Should Stay Buried. I have no idea what this is about, but I have seen this on social media a while back, and I just thought the cover was really cool. And the library, like, I think the most expensive book that I bought was $2. Like, it was insane how cheap these books were. I got The Blade Itself. This is the First Law trilogy, book 1 from Joe Abercrombie. I actually got this because my sister reads his books. I have The Devils and I still haven't gotten to it, and I was like, I was gonna see her that day later, so I asked her if she already had it and she said she did, but it's really good. So I'm gonna try it at some point. I also got 3 Holly Black books, which I thought was insane. I keep seeing The Cruel Prince be recommended, so I got both of these. The Queen of Nothing, I don't know if this is a part of it. I don't really know. I see Holly Black and I think, you know, it seems like she writes the type of books that like I would probably like if I liked more fantasy, but then I see that it's YA usually and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Now I'm going to segue into the rest of my thrifted books. These are books that I found from like thrift stores, flea markets is what we call them around here, Goodwills, just different secondhand places. Sometimes it's yard sales too. I haven't really checked out a lot of yard sales lately, but sometimes that's the case. I love thrifting books though. So much so that sometimes I go into my favorite thrift shops and I feel too bad to leave without anything, and I end up leaving with the Nicholas Sparks. You may have seen this in a recent vlog. I went looking for Stephen King and came out with Nicholas Sparks. But another journey I kind of want to go back down memory lane with is a bunch of Nicholas Sparks, so it works out. I found an Alice Hoffman that I didn't have, the Ice Queen. Ooh, one of these is from a yard sale because I have some of them set aside. Found at a yard sale, Into the Garden by V.C. Andrews. It doesn't have like the jacket, but it's still like in decent shape. But the other ones, let me see if I can grab them over the pile of books. These others, I've kept away from all of my other books because they're really dusty. They look very questionable. Like, I'm wondering if that's book mold. So I'm keeping them far away from my other books, and I just wanted to show you. None of them have dust jackets, which is such a bummer, but I literally got them for like, I think like 25 cents a piece at a yard sale. But we have Horns from Joe Hill, which is a bummer if that really is mold. If you have any tips for that, let me know. I've never dealt with book mold, and I don't even know if it's something that you can even in the end fix. I don't want to mix them. I have anxiety of mixing them with my other books. A cool copy of Interview with the Vampire too that I would like to keep, or just a hardback copy that I would like to keep, but yeah, if that's book mold, I'm gonna have to wash my hands. And then these three I didn't really get because I wanted them to read. I got because I want to use the spines and actually finally try to bind a book, which I've wanted to do for a while. So those were cool finds at a yard sale, but let's move those away. I found a really cool edition of Psycho 2 at a thrift store. I have also seen these at so many thrift stores, and I'm like, are you gonna read them though? I'm a vampire girly in general, but Vampire Diaries, I never read them back in the day, but I've watched the Vampire Diaries show, like, beginning to end multiple times. Like, it's just one of those shows. So I'm contemplating doing a rewatch, but also reading for the first time the series. I don't even know how many are in the series or which ones I have. I'll have to like look into it more. I don't even know if these are all like the original ones or if these are even like spin-off ones, but I seen them and I was like, I'm just gonna grab them and look more into it later because it might be a fun time. I don't think it's gonna be an amazing time with the books, but I think it'll be kind of fun. Just recently found these two, as well as I think it's Stephen King. I have my Stephen King separated from the rest because I feel like I have to have a whole timestamp for just Stephen King with how many I have found within the last couple months. Yeah, this is a little short story collection edited by Dahlia Adler. She edited an Edgar Allan Poe inspired one a little while back that I ended up giving like 4 stars to. So I was like, sure, why not? At Midnight, 15 Beloved Fairy Tales Reimagined. And the cover is just so pretty. It'd be kind of nice to get to that one like this winter, I think, but we'll see. Also, Kelsey Miller, I'll Be There For You, a book about friends, which is my all-time favorite show, so. And lastly, thrifted, that's not Stephen King, is 2 Michael Crichtons that I found. I found these right after my last book haul, so I've had them for a while. But this is a 3-in-1 bind up. I have some of them already, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it. And then my all-time favorite so far from him, well, I don't know, this is neck and neck, I feel like, with Jurassic Park. I think I might have liked Jurassic Park a little bit more. I mean, come on. But Pirate Latitudes, so good. I have a paperback of it, but I found a really nice condition hardback. It has like those like flayed, or however you say, like edges, the rough edges that kind of make it look like old. And the map, it's so cool. Okay, let's move on. Since most of my Stephen King is thrifted, we're gonna jump into the Stephen King section next. I do have, I think, one that we'll talk about later with my Barnes & Noble. But the rest have all been thrifted. This is, if you're new here, this is my Stephen King shelf. It's about to be 2 shelves because I've accumulated so many more. Stephen King is my repeated author. I know he's not for everybody, but he is my author that, like, if I see an edition of a book that I don't have, even though I already have a different edition of it, I'm getting it. Like, he's just that author for me. I love his work so much. I love the covers, the different covers, hardback, paperback. I love them all. So I definitely, that's my collector author. And I just love like dressing up my shelves and making them not just books, but like a shelf dedicated to a different book and having like trinkets and stuff like that. So yeah, we have quite a few to add to it. So let's get into it. Of the paperbacks I have sitting right here, I finally have a copy of Thinner. I want to get to this one soon. I believe, wasn't this one originally like a Bachman? I just read Needful Things, and although I have a copy of it, oh my god, we're gonna be here forever. I'm so sorry. Like, come on. Like, I mean, it's not horrible, but it's like just kind of like boring almost. But look at that. I believe this is the original, like what the original cover looked like. It's so pretty. I love it. Have a really torn up one of Insomnia. And since I have a couple of these already, I was thinking about maybe just using this one for like scrapbook pages or journal pages where you like have the pages, you know, as like a background. Once again, another copy of Different Seasons. I have like 4 now, but it's again a new one. I believe I have it in hardback now too in this haul, but oh, I love the covers of Different Season. They're all so good. I love that they went with like different color stories with each edition. I got this paperback of Desperation, which is so cool. And another one of The Eyes of the Dragon, which is also really, really cool. You're gonna see some repeats because whenever I can get my hands on an older hardback Stephen King, I get excited. I do have a couple copies of The Regulators. I actually think that there's 2. I found this smaller edition. It's a lot smaller than the one that I have, by at least a little bit, but they are pretty much the same covers, and this one's in a lot better condition. But I found it at Goodwill for like $3, so I just got it. Oh, also, at my library sale, I got Mr. Mercedes, and I'm so excited. I want this trilogy so bad. It's the one trilogy or set of books that I've scoured for, and I want a certain edition of them to own. And this is it. Like, I do like the spines that have like the connected smiley face, but just the editions that are white and they have like the blood dripping, the umbrella, and then like the ice cream truck on the background, and then I want the matching Finders Keepers and End of Watch, so I'm gonna have to try to find them. But I found this at that library sale for $2. I was so excited. It's like in perfect condition too. Next up, I found The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which is, I believe, a part of the Dark Tower series. Another copy of Revival that I just couldn't pass up on. I have the hardback, but now I have a paperback edition. Once again, another The Eyes of the Dragon. This is, I wanted to say this is the first cover. I could be wrong, but oh, it's stunning. And we have Desperation, which I do already own, so I might end up passing this along to somebody else because this is like the same edition I have. Don't think I own a copy of Dreamcatcher, but this hardback copy is so nice. There is also, I actually talked about this in my last haul video, how I started collecting the Green Mile, but like the little individual ones, and I could never remember which ones I had when I was out and thrifting. And then I found this box set. How cool is that? It just slides out and it's the whole collection in here. So now I don't have to worry about the other ones. I'll probably collect them over time, but it's nice to have this one. Once again, I have another Nightmares and Dreamscapes. This is the 3rd copy I have, and 2 out of the 3 don't have dust jackets. I don't know what it is with people not keeping the dust jackets to this book, but this is the 2nd time it's happened. I will probably pass it along to a friend. The person that I got some of these from, I was really bummed. There was supposed to be like one of the first editions of, it wasn't first edition, but it was like the first edition cover of The Shining, and it wasn't included in the bunch like it was supposed to be, so I was a little irritated about that. But one of them that he said that he no longer had was Pet Sematary, but when I was going through the books, there was a Pet Sematary in there, and when I took the Pet Sematary dust jacket off of it, it was another copy of Cujo. So I have a Pet Sematary dust jacket and a Cujo book. Some of these next ones, you guys, oh my god. I was literally like squealing when I got home and I was looking at them because I was so excited. An original copy of It, or original, again, I know most of these, I don't know, I need to go through and actually like look if some of these are like first editions or not, but the covers that I'm wanting are like some of the first covers that came out, and like, oh, I finally have it. I actually have this one, but I don't have the dust jacket. Now I have one with the dust jacket. Oh my gosh, this book is so heavy. I can't believe I read that. A copy of Skeleton Crew. I looked everywhere for this copy of Skeleton Crew. Ended up having just this really worn out paperback, and then I bought the newest one with like the new movie cover, and I only have this one. Like I said, different seasons. I have like 5 copies, but all of the editions are different. And again, I just love the cover so much. Definitely want to get to this one in 2026. I have a hardback of the Tommyknockers now, as well as the Dark Half, because I only have a paperback of it, so now I have a hardback. I don't believe I have a hardback of 4 Past Midnight yet either. I have the movie cover edition of Secret Window, and then a paperback that has this cover, but now I have the hardback as well. That is all of the Stephen King from thrifting. Next up, I'm going to jump into my subscriptions. I only have 1 month of Book of the Month here. So we can just do that first. For October, I finally used some credits that I had been racking up, and I got The Haunting of Paynes Hollow. I have a whole Sleepy Hollow video where I read this, and Sleepy Hollow, of course. And then I also picked up, with some extra credits, 2 past Isabel Cañas books, The Possession of Alba Diaz and The Hacienda. And I just read this one in one of my Halloween-a-thons, so you guys can check out that video too. And I cannot wait to get to this one. I think this is the only one from her that I haven't read yet. I do have my Book of the Month link down below. It is just a monthly subscription where you get a credit that you can use towards their monthly picks. And then if you have extra credits, or you can just pay regularly without credits to add-on books. Yeah, it's just a monthly book subscription, as well as Aardvark, which is my next one. Aardvark has kind of become my favorite. I have a few months here. Yeah, I last showed you guys my June picks, and then for some reason I didn't have any in July. I think I just missed it. And then August, I picked up House of Beth and What Hunger. These are my 2 picks for that month. And Aardvark's kind of the same way. You pick out like your book of the month, and then you can add on 2 more extra books if you would like. So that's the 2 that I have for August. For September, I had to pick out Lucky Day from Chuck Tingle. This is his 2025 release, but like, this is a special edition. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's a wild time. I still have yet to get to it. I also picked up You Weren't Meant to Be Human that month, and Keith Rawson's newest, Coffin Moon. So those were my 3 picks for that month. I don't have November's yet, so the last month I'm going to be showing you guys is my October, which you guys probably have already seen. You can check out my whole video on One Bad Night. Aardvark is now a publishing company as well, and they published their first book, which is a short story collection featuring a bunch of really cool authors. I did a whole reading vlog, reading these each night, and spoiler, I loved it. I also got The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre, a nice slasher that I'm hoping to get to at least by this winter. And then a retelling or reimagined, like The Great Gatsby, but like futuristic sci-fi, Local Heavens. And that is it for subscriptions. Segueing us into my Barnes & Noble. The first one I want to talk about, I don't have physically, so I'm going to throw it up. This is The End of the World as We Know It, edited by Brian Keene and Christopher Golden. It's just a short story collection. All the stories are based and like inspired by Stephen King, The Stand. It is a beefy one, but my father-in-law is also a huge Stephen King fan, so he was wanting to borrow it. So after I read it, I have loaned it to him to read. So he is currently working on it. Otherwise, I would show you guys. But it's an anthology based off of The Stand, which I read not only The Stand, but the anthology for a video this past summer, fallish time. I also have a video where I read Killer on the Road and The Babysitter Lives. This is a really cool bind-up from Stephen Graham Jones of 2 of his short stories that are pretty cutthroat but fast-paced and fun. I also never owned a copy of Bunny, so I do now. I ordered this when I ordered We Love You, Bunny. This is Mona Awad's newest, and it is a sequel, I believe. I think this is a sequel to Bunny, not a prequel. I don't know for some reason why I was thinking prequel, but I'm pretty sure it's a sequel. But I got the signed edition, and it's so pretty. Look how neon it is. I just seen at the top it says Frankenstein meets Heathers, and this dazzling, hilarious, and deliciously dark follow-up to her viral sensation Bunny. I'm so excited. Video will be coming soon on those because I will be reading them in November. And just recently I picked up my copy of 11/22/63 from Stephen King. This is about the JFK, you know. I believe it's like about a time traveler who's trying to go back and stop it, prevent it from happening. Anybody who's ever read this has just adored it and just said it's amazing. Like, it's just an incredible story. I am so excited to get to it this November. It is insane how big of a book this is. But I have tried looking for copies of it throughout the years, and finally I was like, I'm just gonna get it from Barnes. But it was buy one, get one 50% off. So I also picked up Joe Hill's, I believe this is, 20th Century Ghost short story collection, but it features Black Phone, and with the new Black Phone movie and all of that, So I will be getting to that as well. Lastly, you guys, the last category is going to be, I think I'm just gonna call this one Other, because I don't know what to call this, but I'm gonna make it quick. I picked up Breathe In, Bleed Out from Brian McAuley from an indie bookstore. It's called Death by TBR Books. You guys should check them out. If you're looking for a cool indie bookstore. They sent me like a tote bag, stickers. I have like the signed plate thing in there. So cool. I enjoyed this one. I believe it's in a past vlog as well. I think it was one of my Halloween-a-thon videos, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the first one. And it's also a book club one that I had to read for. And then my last books, I went to 2 different book events in like the end of summer going into fall. The first one was Rachel Harrison. I took quite a few books with me to be signed, but this was the only one I ended up buying there because I had all of her other ones, besides Doll Parts, but they didn't have that one. But yeah, I got Play Nice signed. I got to meet Rachel Harrison, which was really cool. I do have a whole vlog about it if you want to check it out. I will try to remember to link all the vlogs in the description. I also have another vlog because I met ML Rio, and her newest Hot Wax is out. I read it for that video. I got it signed, got to meet her. She was also very lovely. And I picked up 2 of her back, list books while I was there as well. I have read Graveyard Shift. I really liked it. It's been a year or 2, but it's an amazing little horror novella. She calls it like her grown-up Scooby-Doo. And then If We Were Villains, I still haven't got to. I have a video idea for it, so hopefully soon. But I was excited to pick it up as well. Oh my goodness, we have reached the end. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but if I did, I will include it in my next book haul. Hopefully. Let me know what you have hauled recently and which of these is your favorite that you've read, or which ones I should read first, whatever you want to put in the comments. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for this long book haul. I hope it was a good enough speed run to not make you bored, but also hopefully it was still somewhat entertaining. I know with synopses it might be a little bit more entertaining, but we would be here forever. Expect a lot of videos on a lot of these soon with more of the synopses and thoughts and reviews and all of that. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video.